A little bit ago, Kyle Kalinske covered a situation in CNN where Bernie Sanders was asked about people who can vote in prison and whatnot. And it was the framing of the question, and Kyle said there's really no good way he could answer it. And, the question was like, would you let the Boston Marathon bomber vote? What about rapists and other criminals? It's not a hard question to answer. All right. People in prison who are there for nonviolent crimes, and then you've got those who are assumed to commit a crime. You've got those who are wrongfully accused of intent to commit a crime. Okay, there's a whole gambit and slippery slope of things you can go down. Think about the prison system in general. The prison system was designed to keep people from voting in the first place. That's really what it was made for when it comes to the United States of America. You go to prison, you can't vote. Since you can't vote, you have no hope. Therefore, the most incarcerated people will always be minorities. That's really it. Now, those who are too rich to vote don't go to prison because laws don't apply to them. See, if you are wealthy and you commit a crime, you have to prove intent. You have to prove that they intended to commit said crime to prove if a crime was done at all. Whereas anyone on the lower end, it doesn't matter if there's intent or not. Did you do it? That's it. That is part of the two-tier justice system. So, how I would do it if I were president, if I were anyone in power to push such legislation in general. And how I would do it is simply this. The only people who cannot vote are those who has caused others to not be able to vote. That's it. So this means people who have murdered, whether it's, it would have to be intentional, obviously. But like the marathon bomber, he would not be able to vote. Why? He put a pipe bomb. Maybe for him, or the intention was to just blow up a part of the street and scare the hell out of everybody. Therefore, terrorism, LOL, is funny. But people died. It's a bomb. Bombs are good for nothing but hurting people. So, he killed some people. He can't vote. If you're out there, you commit a murder, you can't vote because you have stopped people from being able to vote. All right. Now, some say, well, that's a slippery slope because what about those who have abortions? Those who have abortions, one, you have to prove that the child, okay, so obviously you would have to have heart, lungs, brain, and able to fully 100% function on its own outside of the mother at the time. You would have to prove that. So, abortion, that's not a slippery slope. Stay out of it. That's it. And for anyone that's like, well, you're a guy, so you can't talk about it, go fuck yourself. And if you was like, who are you to talk? I'm Cedric Kennedy. That's who I am. I'm just as important as you are. And if you want to think otherwise, go fuck yourself. It's that simple. I don't need your elitism. I don't need your exclusionary shit. If we're all one people, one country, one world, we need to come together as one and stop all this bullshit segregation that we enjoy doing, claim to not do it at all. People who commit the crime of murder that's intentional, or let's say manslaughter is unintentional but the shit happens. See, that is not the slippery slope. That is okay, you put a bomb somewhere and it blew up and people got hurt and someone died. Therefore, you can't vote. It's that simple. Now, his intention was for no one to get killed, but it's a bomb. If you take a gun to a high rise and shoot down at people saying, my intention wasn't to kill anyone, it was just to wound them. I was very careful at where I shot. No. It's a gun. It's a high-powered projectile. People will die if you shoot into a crowd. You're screwed. You can't vote. If you're a female that has a child, the child's only been, let's say you got the child out the hospital 2 days after it was born, you kill the child. That's not late-term abortion. That's murder. Because if you want to call that late-term abortion, then you have to go with everyone who's killing anyone. It's like, look, I killed this dude. He was 27. I killed him right there in New York City. Now, I can't go to prison because I was performing a late-term abortion for this woman that just got sick of her child. I just caught his ass in New York. See, shit gets ridiculous. That's when it's not regulated. That's when it's like absolutely deregulated. But when regulated, you have some common damn sense. Now, my friend told me sense ain't common. But I figure when you go through life and shit is just obvious, you don't steal. Why? You don't want someone stealing from you. Empathy is common sense. So who else would I not allow? Look, rapists, why let them vote? They raped. Hey, they haven't stopped anyone from voting. It's all about voting, not just being a criminal. Because once you deem someone, okay, it's criminal intent or criminal act, then that means you yourself has probably been around somebody that really needed to breathe a special kind of clean part of the air, and you're exhaling in their direction. So you make them breathe in CO2, which impedes on the oxygen and nitrogen that they need. See how easy it is to fuck someone over? If you just take a little technicality. So think about tiny little things. So yes, if you are someone who's murdered, you can't vote. If you're someone who's raped, you haven't stopped anyone from voting. Now, if you rape them to keep them from voting, you should be in prison and you can't vote because you stopped them from voting. If you're telling someone, look, I'm not letting you out this house. You my child. And I don't care if you're 18, 19, or 20, you in my house, you ain't going to vote for that party. You ain't going to vote for that person. You can't vote because you're stopping somebody from voting. If you are a police officer who has pulled somebody over and they're trying to go vote, and you literally just like, look, I got to keep you here. I have to detain you. You're not under arrest. It's like, dude, I'm trying to go vote. The polls close in 10 minutes. I can be there in 3 years. Right there. It's in sight. I have to hold you. It's like, no. You're an officer of the law. You have to prove why you're holding them. But you know what? You can't vote. As an officer of the law, you yourself cannot vote. You have impeded on somebody's ability to vote. It's that simple. I hope I made myself clear. I really have. Because it's not hard. It's not hard. The topic of abortion isn't difficult. Okay? It's not. If it's still a developing brain and developing heart, it's developing and it's not doing anything on its own, it's not viable. It's just not. So that's just it. If it's not produced anything on its own, and if you want to go with this whole Bible thing and stuff, you know what? That could be another topic. Hey, look, you can talk to me on Discord or something. But, predominantly on abortion, the majority of the people that are wrong are the religious people, which is to be separated from those who just simply believe in God. It's the religious people that are predominantly wrong. You want to keep the government out of people's bodies, but you won't stay out of their bodies either. So really, what's the difference? Stop being a hypocrite. All right? But this is predominantly about voting and who should and should not vote. If you stop someone from voting, you can't vote. That's just how it is. That's simple. So this is Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.